Hello, MS Live. I'm your host, Dulci Hill, and happy Thursday. And today I'm going to talk about what recognizing when we need a timeout because hurting people, tired people, hungry people, lonely people, frustrated people, we all wear that hat sometimes. Angry people, need a time out. I was at a pool. I was at the pool yesterday, and I was talking about my husband's exciting trip to the emergency room, and how he had vertigo, and it's bizarre because that people who will walk, people with spasticity. Imagine being dizzy. So he is so dizzy he can't walk, right? Well, throw in some stiff legs and some balance and weakness. Throw that in, and all of a sudden you lose compassion for people who aren't juggling everything. And it's not so much him. When I was at the pool, there was a gal who just is such a talker, and I mentioned uh, I was talking a little bit about Brian's vertigo and 15 hours in the healthcare. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for some reason, she kept saying, "Yeah, well, when you go by, the ambulance takes you there, and 4th of July, all the ambulances were in the parade." And I said to her, "So wait, we didn't go by ambulance. I drove him." Um, those of you who know, hi Karen, those of you who have had a million neurological attacks when something goes wrong with your spouse, and it seems to be neurological, you sit in front of them and you look at him and you ask him to raise his eyebrows and you say, "Do you feel good morning, Chris? Do you hear the same? Does it feel the same? Can you raise your eyes? Do you look symmetrical? All right, how's your strength on both sides? You know, right? Hi. How's your dexterity? Your eyes? How's your eye movement? Tap your feet. The strength. I did a complete neurological. Now, granted, I'm not a doctor, but that neurological exam I did, even though I'm a hack, was I felt comfortable. It was not a stroke. So I let it go for 12 hours. So here's this girl that says, this woman who's a little older than me, and she says, "Well, when the ambulance takes you and the 4th of July and all." So she brought it up a second time. "Hi, Sarah. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Chris. Hi, Summer Lady." You know what? But I got to tell you, dude. All right. So when she's bringing that up, and the more she brings up ambulance, the more frustrated I get. I actually, being a Christian, I'm supposed to set the example on how to love people. And I'm sitting there, and there's people. I'm sitting there, and I needed a timeout. Instead, hi Daniel. Instead, I looked at her and I said to this person's name, I said, "Wait, wait, wait. We'll say Kim. Kim, 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 Kim. If you mention ambulance one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna freak." I said, "You are not allowed to mention that." So I said that. I said that. I behaved badly. I said that. And there's other people that I'm really friendly with, I've known for years, that are in the poll, that started talking to her. So, And I didn't care. They started talking with the wall sound. I wasn't moved. So and I will tell you, summer lady, uh, you said when dizziness first becomes part of your daily life, you feel like you're going crazy, and that's just it. But when dizziness becomes like a permanent thing because of brain lesions, because I've got chicken pox of the brain, all of a sudden it's like the frog in the pot of boiling water, right? It's we have been put in the pot of boiling water so long that it's not that we're used to it. It's watching somebody with vertigo walk uh, with their feet a little too close together, grabbing walls, and it's like, you know what? Your feet need to be wider apart. You need to feel, bend your knees, just like karate stance, right? Because you don't know when the wave's going to hit you. Hold on to so always one hand has got to be on something. He couldn't walk with the walker, the real wide one, the Richard Walker. He couldn't, but you can, right? Those of us who are really dizzy, we walk with the walker because we're dizzy. We've got to have uh, um, bent knees, but what do? We lock them out, but we have to have bent knees, wider stance, and we've got to be in touch with how our feet, the bottom of our feet feel, right? We've got to do this. All right, yeah, chicken pox of the brain. I stole that from somebody else who had MS long time ago. But yeah, but again, we have to recognize this is brand new for a frog who just got in boiling water, right? Now the average person, bizarre that it's my spouse who's my caregiver, and he had to use my scooter because he couldn't walk. So we used the scooter. I used the walker to get on, get in, and just in bad shape. So he didn't know how to deal with it. So there's the exercises. There is just again, there's somebody who's going for a walk and they don't recognize the neighborhood. So I'm like, hi, Mace. Boy, it's been a while since I talked to you. I love that you're here today, Mace. That is great. By the way, that's a great name, Mace. Anyway, the other thing is that yeah, he does, but it's slowly getting better, and it's slow. He still does, but there's exercises that you can do to. Wouldn't it be great if we could do exercises to get a temporary relief of the vertigo? Somehow there's a friend of mine at the pool who broke her ankle, and she is the head person there. And I ran into her yesterday at the pool, and she asked if I had an extra walker so she can sit on the extra walker and push herself away. I thank you, Mace. You know what, Mace? Thank you for thanking me for what I do. But you know what? It's I can't do this. I without seeing Chris and Summer Lady and Daniel. You've been and Sarah and Dennis. Oh my gosh, Susan, where's Gina? And Mace and Sherry and Judy, I just, the names just are popping off. Jane, Jane 1 and 2. If it weren't for you guys participating in the show, because the show's not really about me, all I'm doing is hosting it, right? All I'm doing, you are the show. You guys can teach us each. I'm just looking at the world and thinking, oh my gosh, the Jane, exactly. So where's Jane? All right, somebody, I know, I know, but I'll tell you, instead of worrying about where the people who aren't here are, let's just be concerned with who's here and how we can cope with looking at these things. How do you deal when you have got MS for 40 years or 30 some? I don't know. I stopped keeping count. I don't know my birthday. I so yeah. Oh my gosh, it's like a grand finale of fireworks. Mace is just like exploding. I love that. I love that. But I'll tell you what, when you've got somebody who's really close to you, all of a sudden walking in your footsteps, it's hard not to have Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. All right, Schadenfreude. Does anybody know what Schadenfreude is? Freund. Schadenfreude. Freund. All right, does anyone know what Schadenfreude is? Because yeah, you don't want to be there, and it's not a very Christian. It's not Christian. It's not. It's just not. It's not. All right, Schadenfreude. Schaden is sadness you have at Schadenfreude at a friend's uh, um, misfortune. All right. It's kind of sadness and glee. It's a combination. You're thrilled that it's not permanent, but you're kind of happy that somebody gets to walk in your shoes for a few days. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, oh, you got thrown in the pot of water. You know what? It's God working in mysterious ways. It is. There's a number of people at the gym that all of a sudden are having neurological problems, that are having walking problems, that are having. Yeah, it just. Okay, you get Schadenfreude. So, Schadenfreude. So it's good to recognize when we've hit the wall. It's good when all of a sudden somebody, I got to bring the walker upstairs. Now my spouse is just dizzy. I mean, it's a scary thing when you're not used to that. But my spouse has strength, and he's not spastic, so he doesn't lock out. He doesn't have restless leg syndrome. He's got energy. So all these things, yet I will go downstairs and get the extra walker and bring it upstairs because it's like this. He's only used to handling this, right? Just try not to fall, right? We've gotten used to juggling. I mean, when you think about it, you carry your water, all right, you carry your water, you carry your phone, you hang things on your walker, you got baskets everywhere to go to and for, and hi Maureen, hi Maureen. But you have to recognize when you're too tired, when you're hungry, when you're lonely, when you've had enough people and you're about to attack. And I say that because the natural me is a fighter. I'm about to attack, and I'm sitting there. There's Kim in the bowl, and she says, "Well, the problem with the ambulance. Did anybody say ambulance? Did anybody anybody? I didn't say ambulance. And then all of a sudden it's her story. She's and I'm like, because she's just talking and talking about the way things are done in emergency rooms as if you guys, as if I've had no experience. And you know what? Let me tell you something about going to the emergency room. When you go into emergency room because of an issue, kidney stones, anything, when you go into an emergency room, what we have to do is we have to go up, and if we're concerned, especially I thought he was having a, well, I didn't. They wanted to screen out a stroke, so I walked in, and he's sitting there, Brian, throwing up all over the place because he's so dizzy. So I walked up, and I said, I think he's having a stroke, only so that he can be triaged and not wait 15 hours. So the nurse walked over, the triage nurse walked up to him and said, do you think you're having a stroke? And he said, no, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Uh, and I said, at that minute, I knew he was being triaged to the end, and I said, I'm going to go home and feed the dogs, and I'm going to go, give me a call, give me a call. So I called every hour, every 2 hour, every hour and a half. It just, you know what? If somebody is not going to self triage, that if they're going to make it so that there is no urgency, I picked him up at 12:30 at night. We went in at 8 o'clock in the morning to urgent care, and then we got sent over to the ER because they wanted to rule out stroke. But and they're saying, well, it's been over. Uh, let's see, it's been over 2 hours, so we can't give them stroke reversal. I need to be in a timeout. I need to be in a timeout. Recognize when it's like you're trying to get things done, and who's working against you. When everybody seems to be working against you and that they're okay with that and you're not, it's time for a timeout. Before you say anything, just because you can say something, should you? So I asked myself, my mother came down because she's the only person I have on locate. I allow myself to be located with her. So she found where I was at the emergency room. She walked in, and Nurse Ratchet walked up to her because she said, I think my son in law is having a stroke, trying to get some urgency. And she walked up to us and said, you know what? I know that she is his wife, pointing at me. She can be here. You can't because there's only two in the emergency room. And mom says, wait a minute, this is my daughter and she's challenged. And this is my son in law and he's challenged. And I'm the only healthy person here. And I said, and she says, well, there's only two visitors. So I looked at her and I said, you know what? You stay with him because you're able bodied. I'm going to go home and feed the dogs. I'm getting out of there, right? Well, I left, and she followed me. Actually, I found out because the nurse Ratchet told her that she had to go, and so did my husband. Said, just go, just go. Remember, what can you control? You can't control things that come out of the mouth of other people you're talking to. I've discovered very few people listen. They ask you how you doing, and you're like, well, I just got my luggage back after 10 days, and I get $200 travel voucher uh, for the abuse, and Oh, you just have to, and people one up you, one up you. It's like a pissing cat. You know how to make that go better. It's like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I am so humble. That's why we can't, Mace, we can't have a show without you. And Chris is falling out. She is just laughing all over the place. Yes, I love making people laugh too. But I'll tell you, Chris, she loves to make people laugh. And Summer Lady saying when I do things, there should be applause and people hold the cards. I love that. Oh, we'd be so good. Summer, we'd be so good together because I often do something and then I catch everybody looking at me, a little worried, and I look up and I said, "I scare you, huh? Yeah, you're a little nervous, huh?" And then when I get out, I throw my hands up like I always do that. I always throw my hands up at the end of a gymnastics, how they. So you know what? Do it. Everywhere you go, when people get a little nervous because you're unsteady and you're at the fall, and you manage to right yourself, throw your hands up like you've succeeded. I'm telling you, Summer Lady, I do that all the time. I've done that for about 15 years, and people love it. People love it. And they clap and they rejoice. You did it. You did it. Uh, you know what? Chris, bam, that's a mic drop statement. She says nobody can up you when you say that you're highly blessed or you're blessed, incredibly blessed and highly favored. Yes, yeah. So you're incredibly blessed. It's like, and that is wonderful, Chris. That's when I read my bookmark and I'm sitting there and I just hit the wall. I've hit the wall. I've got to do bills. I've got to make sure that, I mean, we went to the ER without even knowing about his insurance card. It wasn't put in place. And so we went, I said, yeah, well, I'll figure it out later. Things are lining up. Schadenfreude, Freud. Ah, oh, Maze is uh, all right, all right. Schadenfreude. Mace looked it up for us. A noun, pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. It is Freud and it's Schadenfreude. And what it is it's not another person's misfortune. It's a friend, somebody you care about's misfortune. It's somebody that you like. It's like, Sean, even a neighbor who complains about uh, weeds in your lawn, all of a sudden their whole lawn is full of weeds. It's you know you're walking around with vertigo all the time because of brain lesions, and all of a sudden your spouse has it, has vertigo, but it's finite. It is only a certain amount of time. In a way, how do you not interiorly have joy? Uh, how do you? It's like, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, I hope. So, hi, Dee Dee. I hope like crazy. They'll remember this. But then again, you know, then again, this is my burden. Hi, Karen. But this is our burden, and our discomfort. Do we really have to explain it to other people? Do they really have to understand us in order for us to be okay? Uh, I find that if I say, wait, person in the pool is beat me over the head with the ambulance protocol when I drove up, here I'm getting angry. It's true. I get frustrated because she kept bringing it up, but I crossed over to the anger, and I get anger. I said something I shouldn't have said instead of, you know what? You don't have to understand any of this. I'm done talking. You talk about your expert experience that apparently trumps the real story. And I don't know. When do you engage and when do you put yourself in a timeout? It's like just because you can say something, should you? Should you? Just I need I need not say. And the poor I gotta go find her and apologize. And I just bad. It's and I've managed to tell my spouse probably he says a couple times a day for the past 3 days. I said, well, now you know. Please remember how this feels. That's how I feel. I don't know. He doesn't care about me sharing. It's like, yeah, all right, I get it. You feel that way, but this is how I'm feeling, and this is new to me. Yeah, this is new. Uh, anyway, uh, let's see. But Chris is as long as you, in fact, Chris, thank you. As long as you remember who you are in Christ. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna harken back to Moses. Moses is, so many of the Jews out of Egypt. He was with them. He was with me. They always complained. He worked with God. He got manna. He tapped the rock, so water came out. The second time, the God told him to talk to the rock, but he had it up to here, and it's human. He was so angry at doing the work. It wasn't the tapping of the rock, it was the character trait of just of him having enough. And God said, oh, you can't go in the promised land because your character has said you're done. You're done. So I'm gonna let you come back. I'm gonna have Joshua lead people in the promised land, and you have been a force, but you're a good force, but your kung fu no good. No longer are you useful as a leader to me. Uh, uh, Now remember, Moses didn't want that in the first place. That's why he had Aaron. He had Ben Hur. He had these people by his side, but he did. So if Moses can fail, if David can fail, if Jeremiah, if Paul, if all these great Bible heroes can fail, what makes any of us think we won't? I mean, I'm at the pool. I failed. I epically failed. I we are called by God to be compassionate towards others, compassionate at all costs. Christianity is the only religion where we are to love and forgive our enemies, regardless of the pain they put on us. Um, the problem is that what is the saying? Your permission to throw your fist stops where my nose begins. So it can be bad if you think, wait a minute, back off, right? We have to be compassionate. The minute we don't feel right and we're not compassionate, loving people, and we say things like, if you say ambulance one more to my story, I'm gonna jump in that pool. I'm gonna drown you. Yeah, mom. Somebody hold my walker. I'm jumping in to drown Lisa or Kim. But anyway, that is when I lose compassion. When you lose compassion for your mother, your spouse, your family, the people that are complaining that your lawn's too long when you get a broken lawnmower and your spouse can't fix it. It's there's always a reason. But does anybody have to know? Does what I know I've got a lot of things. All right, D&D, I have the sensitive. Oh, a density, bone density. Yeah, it's good. Good. You have to get the bone density test. I get that. I have osteoporosis. Everything hurts. But let me tell you, do you need to understand my pain or do we all need to understand each other's pain? The reason why this is so successful is because each one of us comes to watch and hear compassion and be compassionate towards each other and know, hi Frank, and know when we have to just drop everything and do a timeout. Put the phone, walk away from the phone. Hi Frank, I love that you're here. Mace is here too. It's like old school. My old school boys and Dennis. Anyway, uh, I don't know. But we have to uh, remember the boundaries, right? I did a boundary class at one time. Uh, yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. That just threw me. Dee Dee is talking about she's going for wellness things that all of us women have to do, should do. But after a while, it's like, I don't want to. I got enough issues, let alone going for a mammogram, going for, yeah. And I'll tell you what, all of a sudden, I'm getting harassed to get another uh, colonoscopy. I don't want to have any of that done. I got enough on my plate. I need a time out, right? You all do. But we come here for compassion and we come with support. But the boundaries is the boundaries. There's three types of boundaries. Boundary one, boundaries that we protect, we put around ourselves to protect ourselves from difficult people. I needed that boundary when she was in the pool and she's talking about the ambulance, right? I needed that boundary. Uh, the boundary when she talked about that, right? Not to let that affect me. The second boundary, and that's when your family, your friends, people say callous on just not sensitive things. They say things and you gotta overcome it. You gotta overcome it. That's our first boundary, to detach when somebody is saying crazy things about you that you know are not true. You have to pretend that they're calling you um, a a magic marker, right? Right. If they're calling you some like a pink elephant, think you're sitting in a chair and they're like, your problem is Well, basically, if you recognize that they're saying something foreign to you, they're calling you a pink elephant. All right, you realize that you're a pink elephant. Uh, just and that's what the gal in the pool. All right, ambulance, ambulance, ambulance. You realize that your problem is that you are a pink elephant. I need to say that. Second boundary is what I also needed and I neglected to have. That's the boundary that prevents me from injuring others, prevents my mouth from saying, if you say one more time, ambulance, I'm gonna jump in this pool and I'm gonna drown you. You know what is it? That's a good, and I am a diehard compassionate Christian that had it up to here. I needed to walk away. So that. Uh, that is that boundary. Boundary. Don't set boundary to. The Bible talks about the tongue being the root of all evils, right? And so just be quiet. For me, just be quiet. And I hope to MS5. All right, compassion, compassion. We have to be compassionate. Third boundary that we all get is we let ourselves get away with bad behavior, not exercising, not doing a colonoscopy. Yeah, all right. And Chris is great. She says, color guard sent to your house. Just call the doctor, health insurance. That is good. That is good. That is good. So, so that boundary I'm talking about, Chris is talking about. Hi, Ruth, about us not violating it. By remember, the boundary I'm violating is that yesterday was the first time I swam a half a mile. My shoulders kind of messed up. I did Carolyn on the workout, let's see, MS workout playlist. I Carolyn Gibbons. I like to do a 15-minute workouts. I don't like the ones that get on the floor and then you got to stand up and you get on the floor and stand up. But what you can do is when you're doing exercise video, just do everything on the floor. Remember exercises when you stand up, do everything standing up. But again, Chris, you're wonderful in that you're saying, how can we not neglect ourselves? How can we just schedule? I'm going to get insurance card for my husband and get a follow-up appointment. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But remember, I was talking the other day, let's see, on Tuesday, about parties, and having things on responsibilities on different camels and sending them back and pulling the right camel. Problem I'm having, and maybe you get at some point, where you have so many camels and you lost your list of camels. You lost it someplace. You put it somewhere. Can't find it, and you don't want to do anything. It's good. So I'm doing a timeout. Meanwhile, you know, life can't do timeout. You know, you're breathing. Unfortunately, and you're an adult, you've got to make payments. You've got to. All right, because I did the colonoscopy maybe 8 years ago, the classic way. It was the most miserable thing because the prep, you know how you're supposed to drink the prep and you sit there and then you go and that's great. I drank on the prep. It sat in my stomach. I never went. I sat there. And it was so painful. It was so painful. It was so painful that when my spouse walked by, he looked at me and would say something. But John say something. So said I did not like it. So the boundary to exercise, the boundary. Remember, three boundaries: protect others. Let's say protect you from others for what's appropriate, and when they say something that rubs you wrong, we've got to figure out the appropriate way to respond, right? Second thing is the boundaries to protect others from you. We have to recognize when we can say something, but probably shouldn't because we're not in the right mind. So we just have to be loving to compassionate, right? And the third boundary, the biggest one we violate, is we put ourselves last. We put our well-being, we put on taking our medicine, we put doing walking lunges, balance exercises, swimming, weightlifting. We put it last. Why do we eating? You know, we'll eat anything as long as we're providing a good meal for our loved one. It just that is good. I'm going to look into Color Guard. It's called Color Guard. GUARD. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That is important. It's important to recognize when you hit the wall. Um, and when you hit the wall, it's really important you don't pick up the phone. You don't pick up a cell phone. You don't pick up a regular phone. Even when it's emergency, don't pick it up. If you can't be a compassionate, loving person, it's best not to engage, even if it's an emergency, because you're not going to help. I know I don't help the situation. I don't. None of us do. And why are we here? We're here to be compassionate helpers of each other. Remember when I started doing playlists and stuff, I actually thought I had something to tell you. I thought I could tell you how to make life better. And you know what I've learned? I am so humble. I've learned I've gotten away from those playlists and the 2 minute videos I was doing on how to cope with MS because you guys teach me much more than there's a plethora of information and experience that are so beyond what I have dealt with over 37 years that I am humbled. Even these new people who newly diagnosed, they come on and they tell us what's going on. Uh, there is MS News. Uh, there's the Google search. I used to spend so much time looking at the medical research on MS, and I'll tell you what, after doing it for, you're like, you look at the articles coming out a lot, even on PubMed, and researching it, and so a lot of it is repackaged. A lot of it's repackaged so that it'll look like new information, and it's not. Yeah, but you know what? The newbies have a lot to teach us. You know, it is. We can teach them. We can teach them how to operate a certain area, but a certain way. But oh, that is funny. That is funny. I don't know. Everybody's getting electric bicycles. I just saw a gal with an electric bicycle, and she's able-bodied. So I don't know, but I'm judging. I'm judging. It's just heavy set, and it's like a moped. She's got a bicycle that's electric, and she's not pedaling. Right? She's not pedaling, so she just goes by. I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Thank you, Jesus. You just sent this gal in front, and I'm having negative thoughts because I'm thinking, all right. You know what? I have the bicycle, the trike, it's an electric trike, and I can't even pedal half the time. I try to, but it's electric trike. I, you know what? I'm going to ride it today. I'm going to ride it today. Uh, yeah, I have to. I have to ride it today. Hi, D, the original D. But anyway, we have to recognize our three boundaries: boundaries to protect others or ourselves from others who are saying things that may not make us the compassionate, loving people we know we are. We've all, and it's hard to be compassionate. Hi, Chris. It's hard to be compassionate when people who need the compassion are coming at you and they're asking you stuff, and you're just trying to you're trying not to pee your pants, you're trying to balance, you're trying not to have spasticity, you're trying not to be too cold or too hot, the circulation, you're trying to take the right meds. It's hard to say, wait, and I'm trying to use a word, just one word that can make people just stop for 1 minute. It's like when people come, they're like, Dulci, 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 Dulci. And I know they say Chris, 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 Chris. In fact, Chris, I got two Chris's here. Chris, Chris, Chris. D. I got two D's, right? DD. All of these things, when people are at you and they're saying these things, right? For us to have one word to say, wait a minute, just wait. All right, so that is, I'm trying that. Just wait a minute, and so when they're still on you, well, how can I help? How? Wait, 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 wait. We need one word that's not controversial, that is compassionate, that's about us. It's not about them. It's not saying, screw you, go away, leave me alone. We're saying, wait. wait till I get my wherewithal, because then you're doing all your boundaries. Wait, let me get in control. I'm being kind to myself. All right, boundary number 3. I'd like to protect you from me, but I can't because I'm trying to be enforce the boundary on myself. Wait, 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 wait. All right, and then when I get control, then I can turn around and be compassionate. Thank you, thank you. At that point, when they say I want to help you, hand them your pocketbook. Hand them something, your water bottle. All right, hand them because they just want to be part of the solution. You've got to bring them in. That's compassion. That's and thank them. You know, you can be compassionate, and you're like, wait, wait, wait. So they think you're a crazy bitch, right? Until you get a hold of yourself and you say, okay, all right, that's better. Here's my water, here's my purse. Please go around the side of my car. And the more stuff, the happier they are. Because honestly, the person who seems to be have a foot up your butt, right, and is violating the boundary you perceive is actually trying to help, is trying to help you, right? So they deserve compassion. This is God's blessing being sent to you. And here you are. So there's somebody who's trying to relate to you, and you're like, if you say ambulance one more time, I'm gonna jump in and drown you. Oh my gosh! And everybody else in the pool's like, oh, Dulci is a bitch today, and that's okay. That's okay. That I was. I was. So I should swim. I should. What else? I should mow the lawn. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. No, you know what? There is a tricycle, electric tricycle, Liberty Trike, libertytrike.com. There's Liberty Trike Summer Lady. Also, if you can get on a stationary bicycle, the trick is the stationary bicycle. If your legs, the pedals are straight out, you'll have spasticity and you'll lock out. So you have to have the pedal, your seat low so that your knee is always bent, never straightens out. So you're pedaling the bike like this, low, so it never locks out. So because the minute you have those pedals farther and you go like that, oh my gosh, it's gonna come around and you're going to pole jump off of the bike because that leg is now locked out. It's a tree trunk, it's a stick. Bend that knee. That knee's not allowed to straighten out. Bend both knees so that you're biking like that. Do a stationary bike. Uh, See if you can get on one. In fact, uh, a lot of people give away their stationary bikes. Look on Craigslist.com. Look at Facebook Marketplace. Free cycle. Find a stationary bike that you can ride. Yeah, it's stationary bike, Davey. Get a stationary bike, but exercise. Also, if you have 3 and 5 pound weights, do Carolyn Gibbons on the playlist. Uh, Dulci Hill. Subscribe to my channel, right? where this hosting of MS Live happens. But if you subscribe to the channel, go to the playlist, the exercise playlist. There's balance exercises, leg exercises. We have to do that. Use it or lose it, right? Um, and the problem is I'll tell you what. The problem is the boundaries. The there comes a point when you hit a wall, when you have so much going on, you're like, you don't even want to try. You just don't even want to try. And I know that Daniel, if you're still watching, you feel this. I know there's many of us who have had this disease so long, and it's just it's hard. It's hard. So we need, the compassion that feels the best is the compassion I get from others that are struggling with these issues like I am. You guys make it more comfortable. You make the world a swimming pool that the temperature's not too cold to get into. Uh, we have to do that for each other. We have to know when we have to know when it's too much. We have to know when the words we're hearing and the words we're saying are not kind, are not compassionate. We have to recognize when we need to not go to events that we're making ourselves go to. Why don't we feel like a jerk? And it's not that we feel like a jerk. It's just we don't have the energy to do everything that needs to be done. I mean, the I've got a load of wet clothes in the washer that finished last night that I've got to go. It's something. It's something. It's always something. It's medication. It's bills. It's always something. Always something. Uh, and the news. Oh my gosh, the news. And I can't hear it. I can't hear it. I was even reading Tony Blair. I was reading, not Tony Blair, Boris over in England. The prime minister is stepping down, and the way they approached him, uh, they use the United States. So they use the United States politics as an example about why this guy is so bad. And I thought, oh, I cared about a prime minister, the history of that, but there's an agenda. There is an agenda. It just, I can't do it. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Sue. I just, you know, when you've got everything going on and putting on news is it irks you because it lacks the compassion and kindness. It assumes it's there. It's not. Uh, it's not just news for news' sake. Now it's news with an opinion. This is bad. This is the news, and this is bad. This person's bad. That person's bad. It's yeah. Forget it. Forget it. Forget it. I want good. Chris is telling us that it's been 34 years since her first episode. She just keeps going on and staying positive through the weakness, confusion. By the way, I'll let you guys know LVN. I my general practitioner wouldn't prescribe it. I live in Maryland. I've got medical marijuana card, but my neurologist wouldn't prescribe it. LVN. So I went online, found a doctor, paid the amount, I think it's $30 a month for me to start the LDN. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. It's supposed to increase your energy, reduce the inflammation, remove the compounds. I'll let you know how that works. Uh, but Chris, it is. How now? And I really wish that we had more time because I'd like to ask you, Chris. How does it affect you after 34 years? What is your worst symptom? Uh, all right. And Dee Dee says she walks with her walker and lives in Jersey City. She does not drive. Do not drive. She brings her walker and raises it up, and she's going up the steps to stores 2 blocks away. That's all right. And Summer Lady talks about all right. Summer Lady talks. I will. I will. And Summer Lady talks about being on LDN for years, and it keeps her fingers and toes from being numb. I mean, that's pretty huge. Thank you, TV. All right. All right, Ruth wants to talk LDN next Tuesday. All right. So Ruth, get because you're a powerhouse, Ruth. Please get together as much statistics, as much information, because you're going to be an expert witness. Uh, uh, and let's talk LDL, LBN. Also, we'll talk cognitive memory, and NEC, acetylcarnitine, and acetylcysteine is supposed to help on that. But let's talk, and alpha lipoic acid keeps your brain from shrinking. So, Chris, you're on that, right? um, Alpha lipoic acid. Everybody should be on that. Anyway, I love you all. I know it's a little over an hour now, and have a wonderful weekend. We'll all come together. We'll all come together on Tuesday, and I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna LDN. So everybody's watching. Be prepared to talk about, bring any information you have on LDL and MS cognition. All right, let's pre-plan. So I've got that down. I'll look in because I've got a lot of things and I need you guys to help. So I need you to help me research this so I can ask you lots of questions and make this happen for all of us. So, tried the medical marijuana. I'm trying LVN. LVN. I did LVN.org, and I sent my general practitioner there, and it just. But I found a doctor through LVN.org. Anyway, love you all. Let me pray us out, dear Heavenly Father. Thank you for the strength of everybody here, the compassion. Please teach us how to set boundaries with our own behaviors as well as do things that help our bodies and help us be the servants you want us to be with a love and attention. Help guard our tongues when we don't feel well and enable us to be the best we can be. Allow us to do things that are supernatural, strength and courage, and just fill us with the ability to succeed, Lord. I pray this with all of my heart and guide us each to love each other. Make us all instruments of thy peace and help us to provide the information we need to share with each other. Um, Thank you for the example of Moses, um, and help us to be obedient. Help us to be obedient. Help us. In Jesus' name I give thanks. Amen. Anyway, love you all. And hi, Kevin. And this is the end of our broadcast. So, till Tuesday. Bye.